Howdy, howdy, fellas. Got another Halloween video today. This is just for me. This is an idea that I've had percolating around. Ignore these first few salvos. So I didn't even remember that I wanted to do this until a little bit. This is the build I'm running. I'm doing the tank cruiser, same as I did my last build. But this is Hipfire Halloween. After I shot on that one, I flipped to this one. I think I was just kind of doing it anyway, and I was like, you know what? You know what? I have had a dream. That's no, I'm not gonna make that joke. I have had an idea that I want to do an entire battle without zooming in. So yes, I technically zoomed in on the first one. I honestly forgot that I did it, like, because I got towards the end of this match. This is good enough for my purposes. Like, sure, it's not technically fully Hipfire, but those don't matter to me. This is good enough for me, and that's who I'm doing it for anyway. So yeah, we play this entire game without zooming in on any of these ships. I've been practicing using this aiming. I talked about it, I think it was like a Mines video or something. Just as I play more and start really, honestly, making these videos has helped a lot. Like watching back how my shots go when I aim. Like there's a couple of nuances to the aiming system that I picked up on that I certainly didn't fully appreciate before. One of them is how effective this kind of, I'm calling it hip fire, but this like zoomed out view can be. I find it most effective at close range, which makes sense because you're not zoomed in. I used to think, like, how can anyone even aim? You can't tell where on the ship you're aiming. But I find that, like, because of the position of your camera, as opposed to zooming in, when you zoom in, it's going to pick, like, front turrets or back turrets to zoom in. You can get some weird angles. Making the shots when you're further back zoomed out like this, like, I find pretty effective. Actually, I'm going to throw in a clip from a real game where I specifically noticed this, so just hold that thought. You saw I hit the shots long range on this Pestilent Var, 10 kilometers, much longer than that. I thought about it in a game previously, and I was looking at how far away stuff is beyond about 10k, and I'm like, I can't even see this ship. Like, that's not going to work. That's the engagement range in Halloween anyway. I thought about doing it with Destroyer, but I'm like, Destroyers are too important. Like, I'm not going to throw a match for people like that. So, anyway, give me 1 second. I'll pop in a real clip to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we go, jumping in. This is a match in the Musashi. You see that first shot, the first turret hits all water, and the second one is on target. This is a shot that I've had a lot of trouble with historically, of like, it's point blank range. Like, how am I missing these shots? How are they not going where I want them to? And I've tried to watch other people doing it, and it seems like sometimes they aim way higher than I would think, sometimes they aim way lower than I would think, and it's like, I just can't figure out, especially on battleships. And I really think it's the, like, physical geometry of the ship. I noticed it a lot recently. I've been really trying to pay attention to it. And the Jean Bart, like those two front turrets, I think are significantly different in elevation. And when you get into those close range shots, like, that starts to matter. And you see, it's like, look, I am just nailing these guys, and those are shots that I used to miss. So yeah, I have been practicing this. I think it's a really effective technique. If you got the other one figured out, sure, you don't need to pick it up. I like it, and yeah, in some ways it just feels better in these close range shots. My sensitivity isn't the highest, and I've played on this for basically the entire time I've played the game. I probably changed it around a little bit when I started. But my thinking was, like, your turret traverse is going to limit how fast you can look around anyway. I still think that's reasonably true, but especially as I've tried to practice more situational awareness, there are times that my controller sensitivity is a drawback. Being able to fling around like this is a little faster. Yeah, I know some people that have significantly higher sensitivities. I don't know if I would change it if I could. It's whatever. I don't know that it makes that much difference, but there are times where I feel like, ugh, I wish I could like look over there a little bit faster and then snap back. But the muscle memory and stuff is too far in at this point, and it's just not worth changing. So here we are. It is what it is, and yeah, I'm just hip firing away. You see some of the shots are hitting the drink. That's fine. I actually found while doing this, my situational awareness was much reduced because you don't really get the like automatic tracking that you get when you're zoomed in. You know, like when you're targeted a ship and you zoom in, it will kind of follow the course of the ship, which sometimes is a pain. Like if you're trying to do a drive-by or something, you're trying to keep your turrets locked in a, you know, put at a specific angle, and they're moving enough like it can actually mess up your aim point. But generally speaking, it's helpful to like generally as the ship is moving, you can aim relative to the ship and not have to like keep track with its actual motion. The game does that for you. Doesn't really do it with this view. So I did notice a couple of times that I was like really having to watch as the ship was moving, and then would kind of lose track of my own ship while I was doing it. But ultimately, it's fine. We're just in hard. I'm not. I think I accidentally queued into Insane one time because it like automatically pops you up to that. I guess if you log out and log back in, I just have no desire. Like, this is fun. This build on the cruiser is more fun than it was, but it's still, these modes are still silly. Like, I don't play the game for this. You can see I'm not even like, you know, pulling the trigger. I just hold it down. Like I'm doing my Hipfire challenge. Like, it's just not worth it. But yeah, we're in the whole enemy team. We are not necessarily in trouble right now, but at about this point, I'm like, you know what? There is a lot of ships on me on this side. I don't know that I can really just ignore them and go straight for the boss. That was kind of my plan, and my turrets weren't really positioned for that re-engagement. They were all on the other side of the ship, so I wasted a little bit of my buffs here. In the game, I was like, ah, man, I messed that up. I forgot. I don't know I don't have the spawns memorized. I've only played this mode a handful of times, but hey, that's fun. I've only played this mode a handful of times, so I like vaguely know what the pattern is, but it's like, I just don't care that much. I just don't care. I mean, I do, as in all the things. I'm not out here just screwing around totally, but I'm not sweating it. I'm not trying super hard. I'm doing my Hipfire challenge. But yeah, generally speaking, we pop the buffs, gonna sink the boss. I'm looking at our team. It looks like we've got a battleship that is queued up to push the prisoner, so I'm like, you know what, let's just finish this thing off. Let's get this done. Pop both the buffs. I'm not gonna get like much duration on the triple buffs, but that's fine. You know, yeah, damage farm, whatever. It's super fun to see when you get all three stacked up. I'm only gonna get like the tail end of the short duration buffs, but I still got the damage buff from the boss, and about as fast as I can switch targets, these things are going down anyway. And you can see, man, just this is fun. If you play this play this mode, play this build, it's so much fun. Unless you get all the way in the enemy team. Right here, I was like, you know what? I've got floods and fires. I really need to sink this stuff fast. One last torpedo coming in. I'm like, ooh, I'm pretty sure the like flood fire damage in this is reduced. Like, uh-oh, there's a flood. I think I'm gonna make it. Well, actually, I know it's reduced. I think it's reduced enough that I'm gonna make it until the cooldown on my heal gets up. I am a little nervous right here. If I bit off more than I could chew, I've already done enough. We sank the boss. I think we're in good shape regardless. But I would like to make the video without sinking, so I could say like, yeah, I'm super good at this. But oh, that was one where, yeah. And another thing is like, any small adjustment on this can really mess up your aim. So just having to focus and keep that target indicator on the ships as they're moving and as I'm moving. And I also have a tendency to just like move my my right stick around anyway, just kind of looking around, looking at stuff, doing stuff. It was surprisingly hard to not, like in that, I think I dipped a little bit right there, just kind of out of habit. It was surprisingly hard to keep that in a spot, and I really had to focus on it more than I thought. You know, I kind of thought like, oh, Hipfire, this will just like, blah, it'll be easy, but not tracking the ships, and then just having to really keep that situational awareness was a little more difficult than I thought, but Not too bad. Not quite as high as the other match, but we get almost 1.3 million. We win the match. Of course, it's hard. Like, we can do it. And 52 citadels. Yeah, that's fine. And 472 XP. Nice. Hipfire. Yeah.